This is the forecast for April 18th. I'm just going over the Twitter post I made, but the point of doing this is to have a timestamp on when the forecast was made before the opening of the first day of trading. So this is for April 18th, and this particular forecast was made by a system. It was actually run over the weekend. There were 7 stocks selected. You'd have to look them up to see whether they're New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ. And the trading window is 20 trading days starting today. So let's see, I'll go through here. The 11-year historical forecast test showed this kind of a profile as far as the annual returns. This is the Dow Jones Industrial down here. And this is kind of a close-up. And then if we look over here, we can actually see how they performed each year. Now, in this year, ended up with what looks like to be about a 20 or 25% return, but that wasn't that great. And this one was actually even less. The others were a lot better. This is the same thing, but capped at 100%, so you can kind of get a close-up. Not all of them are guaranteed to be winners, and the whole idea is you're going to have some losers. In this case, well, first let me say we run with a 3 right now, experimenting with a -3% stop limit or loss limit, and that's the way the system is tested. So these are all the losers down here, and then if these are the ones that help propel the system. And the idea is that you invest each round for 20 days, then sell, and whatever you have at the end of the 20 days, you invest the next round. And this goes for 12 times throughout the year. So there's 12 trading sessions. It's almost a month, but it's 20 trading days. But when you do have winners, they're going to be far bigger than the losers. And that's why you end up with profiles that look like this. But again, not everyone's guaranteed to be a winner. So this forecast could end up being a loser, but it's all in the statistics or the probabilities. So we go down here and look at this one. In this case, the ROIs that were below 0 was 29%. So that means, just roughly speaking, you have a 29% chance that the forecast is going to end up with losers. And then you have a 71% chance that they'll end up being, I wouldn't say winners, but the ROI, return on investment, will be 0 or above. The mean of anything above 0 was 10.7%. And so, let's see. And that's where I said, thus some ROIs at the end of the 20 trading day period can be negative, which means you take a loss. But the positive ROIs that also take place are far bigger in magnitude, and thus the upward movements. So let me go back to this one here. So for example, in this year, well, let's see. Yeah, this was actually the worst. So there's quite a few losers. Initially, there was, it looks like a positive around a 5% or 6% ROI, but then the next few months, the total cumulative ROI slid down below 0, and then it rocketed up to above 10%, and then finished out the year at maybe 12%, something like that. So, most of the time it should be something like this, but you are going to have losses. But on balance, you're going to be far ahead of what the Dow Jones would be. Like this is for example, here this is well, in this case it was maybe a 40 or 35% return. Here it was well over 150. Here was around 80 or 90. Here was around 75, over 250, 200, and so on. And then this was a low point, which was maybe the 12 or 13% that we were talking about. But over time, you're going to have much higher gains, return on investment numbers than you would going anywhere else. And of course, this is not advice for purchasing stocks. This is just I'm testing the AI algorithm real time to see how it does. So every day, Monday through Friday, I'll be putting out a forecast, and then looking at how it does over those 20 days and just trying to accumulate statistics to see if it matches, if the probabilities match the historical forecast test probabilities, the statistics. And then one last thing is just to note that the way this works is an equal investment is made in every stock. And then there's a 3% loss limit, although I am experimenting with 5%. So again, as I say, all this is experimental right now. So in this case, if it were an actual investment, the same amount would be put into each company. So if it's $1,000 in CMU, then 1,000 in Hill, 1,000 in LSI, and so on. Or if it's 10,000 per stock, then you'd end up with 70,000 invested. If it's 1,000 per stock, then it'd be a total of 7,000 invested. So anyway, this is mainly just to have a timestamp to show that this forecast was done before trading started, and that way the results are what they are.